Bitcoin, the king of crypto. By 2017, it had the largest market cap, unmatched liquidity, and global adoption. But it was also kind of stuck. While Ethereum was becoming a playground for innovation with smart contracts, decentralized exchanges, and lending protocols, Bitcoin could only really be stored, sent, or received, right? No smart contracts, no DeFi. And that created a big problem. DeFi needed liquidity. Bitcoin holders wanted in, but Bitcoin and Ethereum just couldn't talk to each other. There was no bridge between them. And sure, you could just sell your Bitcoin and buy some Ether, but you'd lose exposure to Bitcoin price movements in the process, and it would also count as a taxable event, so you'd be selling an asset, right? Indeed, crypto needed some way of making systems interoperable, or a way of making them work together. Luckily, a breakthrough was just around the corner. In 2019, Wrapped Bitcoin, or WBTC for short, was launched, and it was a simple, powerful idea. Take Bitcoin, lock it up for the custodian, and then issue a one-to-one token on Ethereum. Now, BTC could be used in the Ethereum ecosystem. It could be used as collateral on MakerDAO, traded on Uniswap, staked in Curve, even yield farmed. For the first time, Bitcoin could enter DeFi without giving up its value or its identity. But there was a catch. WBTC opened the door, but it wasn't perfect. It relied on trust, a centralized custodian holding the real BTC. No decentralized bridge mechanics, no smart contract autonomy, and that all sparked a new wave of innovation. Protocols like Ren, Thorchain, and Cosmos IBC, all trying to solve the same problem, but in a truly trustless way. This simple locking and unlocking mechanism would form the genesis of the bustling cross-chain traffic that we see today. Now, in this video, we'll be telling you about different kinds of bridging, how you can bridge and why you'd want to anyway as an ordinary user, and also we'll be talking about Symbiosis Finance. Now, we're a kind of cross-chain bridge, so you're definitely in the right place. My name is Bradley Peak, you're watching the Symbiosis YouTube channel. Let's talk bridges. Wrapped Bitcoin was certainly a breakthrough, but it was only the beginning. Once that door opened, the race was certainly on. Suddenly everyone was trying to solve the same core problem. How do you move value between blockchains? Now, today, the space is full of bridges, and while they all aim to do the same thing more or less, let's say get your assets from chain A to chain B, the way they do it is where things start to diverge. Let's start with the basics. The first category of bridges is trusted bridges. These are the original style of bridge. Fast, simple, but centralized. You send your tokens to a custodian, they hold them and mint the equivalent token on another chain. Wrapped Bitcoin is the most well-known example. Binance Bridge, Avalanche Bridge, and Polygon PoS Bridge. In all of these, there's a trusted party or validated set that's managing the bridge. The downside, you are trusting a third party. And in crypto, trust is a liability. After all, if that custodian gets hacked or goes down or simply makes a mistake, your assets could be entirely gone. And that's where trustless bridges come in. These bridges eliminate the middleman. Instead of relying on a company or a custodian, they use smart contracts, validators, and decentralized infrastructure to do the job. It's code, not people, that moves your money. Examples here include Thorchain, which enables native asset swaps without wrapping. There's also the Cosmos IBC, the inter-blockchain communication, which connects zones in the Cosmos ecosystem. It does this with full decentralization as well. And protocols like Layer 0 or Wormhole are pushing towards trust-minimized messaging and asset transfers across chains. Trustless bridges are slower, they're often more complex too, but they're also more in line with what this whole ecosystem is about. Don't trust, verify. Now, underneath all of these bridges, there are a few common models for how they actually work. First, lock and mint. This is where you lock your token on the source chain and a wrapped version is minted on the destination chain. That's how WBTC works. You lock real Bitcoin and get wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum. Next, there's burn and mint. In this model, the token is burned on the source chain and minted fresh on the destination. This keeps supply balanced across chains, but usually requires both chains to speak the same technical language. You'll see this model used in Cosmos IBC and Polkadot's parachain setup. Finally, there's lock and unlock. This is used by liquidity pool-based bridges. You lock up tokens on chain A, and pre-existing liquidity is unlocked on chain B. This is the model that Symbiosis uses. No wrapping, no burning, just routing through deep cross-chain liquidity. Now, of course, each model has trade-offs. Some are faster, some are more secure, some offer better UXs. But the goal is always the same: move value between chains without losing it, and without trusting the wrong people, of course. Now, in a multi-chain world where users daily jump between blockchains, bridges aren't just infrastructure anymore, they're lifelines, right? Let's talk about how Symbiosis fits into everything that we've just covered. Most bridges out there are pretty straightforward, right? They take your tokens from one chain and move them to another. That's it. But here's the problem. Most people don't want to move tokens, they want to swap them. They want to go from ETH on ZK Sync to BNB on BNB chain, or from Matic on Polygon to USDC on Arbitrum. And with traditional bridges, that usually takes 2 or even 3 separate steps. Now, Symbiosis changes that. We let you do all of that in one go. You just tell the app what you have and what you want, and behind the scenes, Symbiosis handles the swap, the bridge, and many extra routing all automatically. So what kind of bridge is this? It's what you might call a cross-chain swap engine, and under the hood it works a little differently. Symbiosis uses synthetic tokens called S tokens to make swaps seamless, and here's how that works. When you start a swap, your original tokens get locked on the source chain, then an equivalent amount of synthetic tokens is minted on a special service chain called the S chain. These S tokens can then be swapped for other S tokens using Symbiosis' internal liquidity pools. Now once that swap is complete, these synthetic tokens are burned, and the final asset is released to you on the destination chain. In other words, instead of moving tokens directly, Symbiosis mirrors them across chains. That means no wrapping, no minting weird side assets on your destination wallet, and certainly no relying on custodians to hold your funds for you. And yes, it's all handled through smart contracts. It's not fully decentralized yet, but it's trust minimized. There's no middleman holding your assets. Your funds never leave the ecosystem. They're just translated and routed. Now, let's say something goes wrong mid-swap. Maybe the price changes on the destination chain and the final conditions, for instance, they can't be met. With most bridges, that would just fail, or worse, your funds would get stuck. But Symbiosis guarantees delivery. If the route breaks or the rates shift too much, we'll actually send you stablecoins like USDC or USDT or even WBTC on the destination chain instead. Your value still arrives and you don't have to redo anything or send another transaction to get it back. And the goal here is simple. Make cross-chain swaps invisible. You don't need to think about routes or liquidity pools or which network charges what gas fees. You just connect your wallet, pick what you're sending and what you want to receive, and let Symbiosis handle the rest. Up next, we'll walk you through how to actually perform a swap using the Symbiosis web app. And also, we'll cover a few tips to make sure your experience is as smooth as possible. Let's get into it. So, let's walk you through how to perform a cross-chain swap using the Symbiosis web app. It's simple, it's fast, and you'll only need a few minutes. But before we start, make sure you have a supported wallet connected and also enough funds to cover gas fees. So step 1 is opening your browser and going to app.symbiosis.finance. You will land on the main swap screen. Next, click Connect Wallet and then choose your preferred option. Approve the connection when your wallet prompts you to. Now, pick the networks. Choose the chain you're sending from and the one you want to receive on. Then select the token you're swapping, enter the amount, and choose what you want to receive. Here, you'll see a breakdown of the fees, the slippage tolerance, and estimated time. Make sure to review everything to make sure it looks right. If you need to tweak anything, click the gear icon to adjust slippage or transaction deadlines. Now, hit swap. Your wallet will, of course, ask you to confirm the transaction. As soon as you approve it, you're good to go. Now, of course, you can monitor progress right in the app or click the link to see it in the Block Explorer. Once complete, your swapped tokens will appear in your wallet on the destination chain, and it's as simple as that. In 2025, bridging is so much more than just using your Bitcoin to engage in yield farming, staking, and lending. It's about freedom. The freedom to move your assets wherever you want without friction. The freedom to tap into new ecosystems, new DeFi protocols, and also new opportunities without giving up your existing asset exposure or dealing with centralized custodians. Also, two-way bridges are becoming somewhat old school in light of solutions such as ours. Our users in particular chasing lower fees, faster settlement, and they're also routing much smarter. They're managing risk, protecting their value in volatile markets, and accessing the tools they need, whether it's stablecoins for safety, governance tokens for influence, or altcoins for potential upside, I don't know. But most importantly, they're doing it all without waiting for permission. Let's also remember that swapping and bridging used to be something that only power users did. Now they're foundational to Web3. They're how you diversify, right? How you interact with DeFi, how you navigate this kind of multi-chain ecosystem. And if you're new to bridges, that's a good thing. It means you're only a couple of minutes away from becoming not new to bridges. So try it out for yourself, and we promise you won't look back. Naturally, we've left a link to the swap function in the description if you'd like to try out our service for yourselves. That's all for today, folks. Remember, my name is Bradley, and you've been watching Symbiosis. I'll see you next time.